Okay, I'm recording this video to quickly show you how to use Clay to clean up data from your CRMs or clean up corrupt, incomplete data with missing information and actually put it to good use. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is this raw data right now. So this is exported directly from our CRM, and you see some of these people have contact names. Some of them don't have an opportunity name, but they have a contact name. And the contact name is the name of the company, which should have been the name of the opportunity. Some of these contact names are not formatted correctly. It's lowercase instead of, being proper case. Then missing names here. And then you also see that this is a mix of different types of contacts. So some of these contacts have been tagged correctly. Most of these contacts don't even have a tag. And then some of them have, they have different things in the notes. Some say email, some say the name of the salesperson. So what we're going to do through Clay is we are going to organize this data and make this usable. And a lot of this is stale data from several days ago. So our objective here is to first categorize all of these contacts so that we know what industry they belong to. And then we can use that information to send them emails, enroll them in the right nurture sequences, right case studies, social proof sequences, so that we can reach out to these people with relevant information instead of sending them random information about our business, right? And most businesses, when they send nurture sequences, it's all about them. They just keep saying, we won this award. We are so good. We helped this customer accomplish XYZ. We helped another customer accomplish XYZ. And the reason people hate these emails is because it's your typical marketing language where you're talking about yourself instead of them. So you're there in their inbox trying to talk about yourself. You're basically using a billboard of yourself in their inbox, which is why people hate your emails. They mark it as spam, and which is why you don't get the conversions that you could be getting. So our objective here is to use Clay to first figure out what industry each of these prospects belong to, then curate and send them personal emails relevant to what they do so that they can find value from those emails. And in the process of doing this, we'll also fix a lot of this data sanity issues, which is making sure the contact names are correct, making sure the opportunity names are correct, and so on and so forth. So let's hop right into Clay, and I'm going to show you how we do this inside this Clay table. Right. So first things first, I obviously exported this as a CSV, imported that into Clay in a new workbook. And now I'm going to walk you through all of the columns that we created. So the first thing we did was identifying business category. Now you see that here in this opportunity export, there's no website. Whenever these opportunities were being created, the website column was not logged, but we have email addresses. And some of these email addresses are personal email addresses. Many of them are business addresses. So the first thing we do is obtaining a website from the email addresses. And you can do this automatically within Clay without expending credits, without having to spend any money. You just go to the website, you create a formula column, and then you, instead of writing this complicated formula yourself, you click use AI and you write something simple. Extract the domain from this email column and leave empty if it's a personal email. And Clay is smart enough, intelligent enough to be able to exclude these personal emails. And it gives you this column, neat and clean, where you can get the website from the email. So this one was a Gmail, it left the website empty. This one was a Gmail, left the website empty. Wherever it was a business email, it gave you the website. Now that we have the website, you would want to find out what industry this prospect is in, which is why we have this business category column. Let me just bring it here. Now, initially, we had these tags which were largely empty, right? These tags were missing. But wherever we do have these tags, we want the tags to be our source of truth. So the prompt that I create here, and again, there's going to be two stages. First is using AI to give it instructions on what you want. And then you let the AI create a more detailed prompt that gives the AI agent, the model, the guardrails that it needs. So here in the generate section, I just told it to classify the website into one of these four categories because I know those are the four categories of prospects in this list. And I asked it to use tags if they already have a value. And if not, then we will just figure out the value using the website. Then you click generate here. It'll generate a full prompt like this one. And you run that for the whole table and you will see that it has now categorized pretty much everything inside this table. So now we can send these people emails that are relevant to their industry. So if we're going to send them case studies, we'll send them case studies of other businesses like themselves. If we are going to send them value content, we're going to cater that value content to a marketing agency or to a B2B company or to a recruiting company. So instead of sending random stuff in their inbox, we are going to send stuff that's actually valuable to them. We're going to send them lead magnets created specifically for their type of business. And this is why the nurture sequences and the engagement sequences that we implement get so much better response rates and conversion into booked calls than your typical nurture sequences created using templates within HubSpot or Pipedrive or whatever. So this is why. Okay, it looks like we've done all we needed to do. But you will notice there's one big problem, which is some of these names are not correct. So if you were to use contact name right now, your email would say Hi Fusion One Marketing, which obviously sounds like, it's automated. You want your emails to sound like they are personal. So how do we get their name? Well, you see here, a human being would notice that the email address says Rob at Fusion Marketing, which means the person's name is Rob. However, the Rob is not present in the opportunity name or the contact name. And we've just spotted one situation like this. There might be many others. So the first thing I do here is we create this column to check if the email actually belongs to the contact name. Again, we use this using Clay formula, so you don't spend any credits here. You just say, does email address in the email column belong to contact name? Return yes if it does and no if it does not. And this gives you a simple yes or no. Then I applied a filter here where for all the rows where the email address did not belong to the contact. And for these rows, only for these rows, we will create an AI column and feed it opportunity name, contact name, and email address, along with a few examples. And then we ask the AI column to figure out the most likely name for that prospect. So I'm going to show you this column as well, just so you can replicate it later. In the generate section, I just explained what I wanted to do. So I told it determine which of these is a person's name, contact name, opportunity name, or if you think neither of these are an actual person's name, you can also use the email section for added configuration or to avoid confusion. And with this prompt, I also asked it to only use variables once at the end so that it's easier for me to edit the prompt later. And this is when I click generate, this is the prompt that it generates. This is the prompt it outputs. And again, you don't have to worry about copying and pasting this prompt. What you need to really understand is this generate section, the instructions that you're providing it here, which I explained to you. Now, something that's really important anytime you're using the create or modify content option is to provide the AI model, the LLM, with good examples. So in this case, I gave it 3 examples, each of them serving a different purpose. So the first example that I gave it was Rob, or this was actually someone called Chow. Now, the reason I chose this is because Chow is not a common name, right? And even though this was a name in our database, like somewhere here, I'm sure it exists. So this is row number 14. So row number 14, even though Chow is an actual person's name, it's not a common name. So I just used that as an example where I said, you know what, if this is the name, then you need to be outputting Chow. Then for the second one, Rob, this is the one we spoke about. So if the contact name is this, there's no opportunity name, and this is what the email says, you need to figure out that the name is Rob. And then with the third one, if the contact name is the company's name, opportunity name is empty, or the opportunity name is this, and the email has something like this, which cannot really be deciphered, we need to choose Harman as the output. So just gave it 3 examples so that it's not operating without any information. And then you run this column and you see that it has populated the correct names for pretty much everyone in this list. And we can look at some of these examples later on. So let's find bad names here. Okay, so this one, Kingsley Rose, let's see what name it came up with. Figured out that it's Joseph. Premier Staffing in the contact name, figured out that it's Matt. ABS Staff Solutions and Ariel, figured out that the name is Ariel. And another one, Charles at CarePoint Staffing, so it figured out that the name is Charles. So after you have all of these names, you can now extract the first name using a simple formula, just like we did earlier. And this is the column that you want to use when you enroll these prospects into a nurture sequence. So now your emails will say, hi, first name. Your emails will be personalized to the industry that they are in. So you'll create 4 different sequences. Simplest solution, create 4 different sequences, 1 for marketing agencies, 1 for brand selling physical products, 1 for B2B companies, and 1 for recruiting companies. Enroll these prospects into the correct sequence, use the correct names, update your CRM with cleaner data so that all future decisions can be made within the CRM itself instead of having to export them, and you're good to go. One-time exercise took us 10 minutes to do. Now this is going to ensure data sanity, cleanliness for your data in your CRM going forward. I hope this video was helpful. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below. If you have specific use cases that you need help with, go to our website, hyperke.com/chat, book a call with us. Happy to talk to your use case and help you implement a solution that's going to work for you. All the best.